They give you a list of rules when you start the wolf monitoring program. Most of them make sense. Check collar frequencies between 6 and 8 in the morning. Don't approach a collared wolf closer than 200 meters. Standard stuff. Things you'd tell anyone working alone in the Superior National Forest in November. Rule number 7 doesn't make sense. If you hear howling from the direction of Magnetic Lake between midnight and 4 a.m., do not go outside. Log the time and duration. I read it 3 times, thought it was a liability thing. Wolves don't howl on schedule, they howl when they want to. Territorial calls, pack coordination, sometimes just because something in them has to answer the sky. There's no biological reason to attach a time window to it. But it was laminated and taped to the wall next to the VHF antenna, so I left it alone. I was 26, second year with the Forest Service. Wildlife biology degree from UMD. I'd taken the wolf monitoring post at the Magnetic Lake Field Station because I wanted field work. I wanted data. I wanted to sit in a cabin in the Boundary Waters and track a wolf pack through the longest winter in North America. The station was a converted CCC cabin from the 1930s. 1 room, wood stove, plywood desk, a telemetry laptop that was older than I was. Nearest town, Grand Marais, 47 miles east on the Gunflint Trail. In November, those 47 miles felt like 400. Dr. Karen Aldridge, the lead biologist, had transferred to the regional office 5 weeks before I arrived. No explanation. I asked the district ranger why. He said it was a personnel matter and changed the subject. She left a sticky note on the telemetry laptop. Her handwriting was small and precise. Download F-19's data every morning. Don't skip days. F-19 was the alpha female of the Magnetic Lake Pack. 7 wolves, 7 GPS collars. I knew them by their numbers, F-19 and M-22, the breeding pair. F-23, the beta female. M-14, M-15, F-16, and the yearling, M-27. I tracked them on a topo map pinned to the wall. Kill sites, travel corridors, denning areas. The kind of science that fits in a spreadsheet. I'd never seen F-19 in person. Dr. Aldridge had mentioned that in her transfer notes. She knows where you are better than you know where she is. I thought it was a compliment. My routine was simple. Wake at 5:30, coffee on the wood stove, download collar data through the base station antenna, plot waypoints, radio check-in with the Gunflint Ranger District at 8, then hike. Camera traps, scat surveys, snow depth markers, back before dark, log everything. November 19th was a Tuesday. I remember because I'd marked it on the calendar as day 12 solo. I was keeping count, not because I was lonely, because structure kept me sane. I sat down at the laptop with my coffee and downloaded F-19's collar data from the previous night. The software plotted the waypoints automatically. Most nights, she traveled 6 to 10 miles, hunting corridors along the Brule River drainage, wide arcs through the boreal forest. Normal wolf movement, purposeful, efficient. That morning, the waypoints looked wrong. Between 3:12 and 3:47, 35 minutes, the collar had logged 127 waypoints. That alone was unusual. The collar was set to ping every 10 minutes. 127 pings in 35 minutes meant the collar had switched to its high-frequency tracking mode. That only happens during a mortality event or a software glitch. I plotted the waypoints. They formed a shape, not the loose wandering pattern of a hunting wolf, not the tight cluster of a resting site. A circle, not roughly circular, not kind of round if you squint. A geometrically perfect circle. I measured it with the software's distance tool. Every waypoint was exactly 94 meters from the center point. The center point was the field station. I re-downloaded the data, same result. Checked M22, normal linear travel, northwest toward the Brule River. The other 5 collars showed normal patterns, only F-19. I stepped outside to check the antenna. The air hit me and I stopped on the porch. The forest was silent, not quiet, silent. No wind in the spruce, no gray jays, no ravens. November in the Boundary Waters is never loud, but it's never this. It was 9 in the morning and nothing was moving. I looked at the tree line, 94 meters away, snow on everything, undisturbed, nothing there. I went back inside and wrote in the log, F-19 anomalous GPS pattern, possible collar malfunction, but I didn't flag it for review. Rule number 5 says to flag anomalous patterns and not attempt field verification alone. I don't know why I didn't flag it. I told myself I'd wait for one more night of data, see if it repeated. That's what a scientist would do. I should have flagged it. November 20th, I sat down with my coffee and downloaded F-19's collar data and told myself it would be normal. Atmospheric interference, a one-night glitch. It wasn't. Between 0312 and 347, the collar logged another perfect circle. Same time window, same 35 minutes, same high-frequency ping rate. I measured the radius, 93 meters, 1 meter less than the night before. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I downloaded November 21st, 92 meters. Same time, same precision. 3 nights, 3 perfect circles. 3 radii, each 1 meter shorter than the last. I overlaid all 3 on the topo map. 3 concentric rings centered on the station. Shrinking. I'm a scientist. I believe in data. And the data was telling me that a 110-pound timber wolf was walking a geometrically perfect circle around my cabin every night at 3:12 a.m. And the circle was getting smaller. I set my alarm for 3 a.m. on November 22nd. Sat by the window with binoculars. Perimeter lights on. Sodium yellow, casting maybe 30 meters into the spruce before the dark swallowed it. Beyond that, nothing. Snow. Silence. At 3:12, I pressed my face against the window and scanned the tree line. Left to right, slow, nothing, no movement, no shape between the trunks, no eyes catching the light. The snow was smooth and unbroken from last night's fall. I watched for 35 minutes. My coffee went cold in my hand. At 3:47, I lowered the binoculars. Then I checked the laptop. F-19's collar had logged 131 waypoints during those 35 minutes. She'd circled the station at a radius of 91 meters. While I watched, while I saw nothing. I don't know how to explain that. I've been trying for a long time. That morning I downloaded the rest of the pack. M22, normal. F-23, normal. But M14, M15, and F-16, the 3 younger wolves, their collars showed the same GPS coordinates. All 3. Same point. 72 hours straight. I plotted the coordinates. Center of magnetic lake. There's no land there. That point is 40 feet of cold, black water over glacial till. And the collars weren't in mortality mode. The software said those wolves were alive and moving at a point where there was nothing to stand on. I radioed the Gunflint district office, told the dispatcher I had 3 stationary collars with anomalous coordinates. She said she'd pass it along. Nobody called back. I almost laughed. 3 wolves standing on water for 3 days and nobody calls back. November 23rd, 1:47 a.m. I was awake. I'd stopped sleeping well by then, and I heard it, howling from Magnetic Lake. Single voice, not a chorus, one wolf. Low and sustained, the kind of howl that holds a single note and pushes it into the walls of your cabin until you feel it in your teeth. Rule number 7. I didn't go outside. I lay in my sleeping bag and listened. The howl lasted exactly 1 minute. I timed it on my watch, 1:47 to 1:48. Then it stopped. Not faded, stopped, like someone turning off a recording. The silence after was worse. Next morning, F-19's data. Radius 89 meters, 4 nights, 4 meters closer. I sat at the desk and did the math. At 1 meter per night, she would reach the station wall in 89 days. Late February. I did the math 3 times because I didn't want it to be right. Then I did something I shouldn't have. I opened Dr. Aldridge's laptop. She'd left it in the station, another thing she hadn't explained. The desktop was clean except for one folder. F19, do not delete. I opened it. Inside were 6 months of GPS data files, daily downloads labeled by date, going back to June. She'd been tracking this since June. I opened the earliest file, June 14th. F19's collar data, a perfect circle. Radius, 270 meters. She'd been shrinking the circle for 5 months, 1 meter per night, every night. Dr. Aldridge had watched it for 158 nights, and then she left. No report filed, no data shared with regional. She just left. I understood why she didn't explain her transfer. What would she have said? The wolf is circling us, and it's getting closer, and I can't see it when I look. November 24th. I downloaded F19's data before the coffee was hot. The radius was 85 meters. Not 88, 85. She'd skipped 3 meters in one night. The pattern, the precise 1 meter per night shrinkage I'd been counting on to give me 89 days, it had changed, accelerated. I checked the timestamps. Same window, 0312 to 347, same duration, but the circle was tighter, faster. I downloaded M22. His collar had gone stationary. Same coordinates as the other 3, center of magnetic lake. 5 of 7 wolves at the same impossible point. Only F19 and the yearling M27 were still moving. M27's data showed him running, long straight lines, northwest, away. Just running. I should have left then, I know that now. But I was still thinking like a scientist. I told myself, 1 more night, observe the circle directly, document it, then report. November 25th, I set my alarm for 300, 12 minutes of waiting. I put on my parka and boots and sat on the porch instead of behind the window. The perimeter lights carved a yellow dome into the darkness. Beyond it, the boreal forest was a wall of black spruce, motionless, snow-covered. The temperature was 9 degrees. My breath hung in the air and didn't move. At 3:12, the silence changed. I don't mean it got quieter. I mean the quality of it shifted. Like the difference between an empty room and a room with someone standing behind you. The air pressure seemed to drop. My ears popped, and then I saw it. At the edge of the light, maybe 50 meters out, the snow moved, not all of it, a line, a track pressing into the surface, one print at a time, moving left to right in a smooth arc. Paw prints, large, the spacing of a trotting wolf. The snow compressed and held the shape, and I could see the individual toe pads in the crust. But there was nothing making the prints. No wolf, no shadow, no shape between the trees. Just the snow pressing down print by print, curving in a perfect arc around the station. I watched it for, I don't know, 2 minutes, 5. The prints kept coming, steady, patient. I stood up, I walked off the porch. I know, Rule 4, don't track wolves after dark. Rule 7, don't go outside during the howling hours. But there was no howling, just the silence. And the prints. I knelt by the nearest track, fresh, sharp-edged, 5 inches across, consistent with an adult female timber wolf. I followed the tracks. They curved ahead of me, always 15 meters beyond where I stood, the snow pressing down as if the wolf was staying just out of reach. I walked the full circumference. 11 minutes. My boots crunching in the snow were the only sound in the forest. When I got back to my starting point, the tracks continued. But now they were inside my boot prints. The circle had tightened while I walked it. I was standing in the new perimeter. I went back inside. My hands were shaking, not from the cold. The laptop showed F19's collar at 47 meters from the station. And something else. A second GPS trace in the data stream. Not a collar frequency. It was my personal GPS unit, a handheld Garmin I'd left on my desk. It was powered off. I checked. The unit was right there on the desk, screen dark, power switch in the off position. But the telemetry software showed it moving, in the circle, behind F-19's signal, following her. Or she was following it. I sat there for a long time. Then I opened Dr. Aldridge's laptop one more time. There was a hidden file in the F-19 folder, a text document, modified date, the day she transferred out, one line. When the radius reaches 0, she's not circling the station, she's circling you. I didn't download the data on November 26th. I packed my truck in the dark, drove to Grand Marais without stopping, filed my resignation from a motel room. The district ranger didn't argue. I went back to Duluth, got an apartment, tried not to think about it. 3 weeks passed, then my phone buzzed. An automated email from the USFS telemetry system. I shouldn't have still been on the distribution list, but nobody had removed my credentials. F-19's collar had transmitted a new waypoint. I opened the coordinates. They were my apartment building. I closed the laptop. I haven't opened it since. I moved twice. I don't check email anymore. I don't look at maps. And every night around 3 in the morning, I wake up. Not because of a sound, not because of a dream, because the room gets quiet in a way that rooms shouldn't be quiet. And I know she's still